Hi, everybody. Welcome to writing this week. What we're working on still is really super good sentences and talking about those subjects and predicates and reinforcing the nouns and the verbs and the adjectives in sentences. So, what I'm doing with you is I'm looking at good sentences and then we're like looking at all the parts of them, just like a car. A car has wheels, it has a motor, it has seats, it has windows. Sentences are just like that. It has very important parts. Okay, if you notice, I'm on a piece of notebook paper and I'm on the front page of a piece of notebook paper. The holes are on the left. I have the big part that is open at the top. And if you notice, I put the date on because Mrs. Hicks and Mr. Young and Mrs. Colda are going to be looking through your writing journals and looking at your writing and grading it when that spiral comes back to us. All right. So there's my picture because remember, I always do a picture in my mind. And that picture right there has to do with one of your vocabulary words, which is insects. And insects have 6 legs and 3 body parts. All right, let's read this sentence. It says, "We caught all kinds of insects today." All right, what I do is the very first thing I think about is my subject. My subject is going to be, whoa, did you see that? That was pretty cool because you know what? Mrs. Hicks was not in the pen. Okay, so the subject is we. All right, we. Now, what are we doing? What is the action in this sentence that you can see? And the action is caught. All right, so that is our verb. We caught. Now, the rest of the sentence that makes it make sense and gives it details is the rest, starting with a verb. All the rest is your predicate. So your predicate goes now all the way down like that. All right. And then what we do is we look for things that make it interesting. So we caught all kinds of insects. Now that would have been okay, but we went ahead and added today because we want people to know that the event happened today. All right, the next thing that I look for is I look for my capital letter. Does my sentence start with an uppercase letter? Then what I do is I look for a stopping mark. Does my sentence end with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point? Then I find somebody to read it to. So I say, "Mom, listen to my sentence and see if it makes sense. We caught all kinds of insects today." You've checked your capitals, you've checked your punctuation, you have a subject, you have a predicate and a verb starting the predicate. You're great. All right, so then I move on to my next sentence. I have the huge spider spun the beautiful web. All right, so the very first thing I do is I think about what is my subject of my sentence, and I underline it. So I know that I'm talking, this whole sentence is about a spider. So I'm going to underline all of that. And I go, now, what is the spider doing? Well, it's in past tense and the spider spun. All right. Now I ask myself, how do I complete the sentence and make it make sense? And I go, well, what did the spider spin? The spider spun the beautiful web, and that is the predicate. This is the predicate, and that's all the predicate right there. All right, so the huge spider is my subject. The predicate, starting with a verb, is spun the beautiful web. All right, now the next thing I do, remember, is I check for my capital letter, I check for my stopping point, and I could have written this sentence, the spider spun the web. But did you notice that I added in an adjective describing the spider? Did you notice that I added in an adjective describing the web? So that's what kind of paints the picture, because listen to me change it. The ugly spider spun the sticky web. See how I totally changed it in your mind? The dangerous spider spun the deadly web. So those adjectives change that picture in your mind. All right. So that is an incredible sentence. And then always make sure that I read it to somebody. All right. Let's go to the next one now. All right. The man washed his dirty car in his driveway. This is another way of diagramming this sentence. So I asked myself, what is the subject? Well, the subject is the man. All right. What is he doing that I can see him doing? He is washing. Okay. The verb, the man washed. Washed is your verb. Now, what is he washing and where is he washing it? All right. This becomes all of your predicate. All right. Do you notice that your verb starts that predicate? Now what I do is I ask myself, well, where are my nouns? Well, the man is the noun, the car is the noun, and the driveway is the noun. So in this sentence, I added one adjective. That's all I did. The man washed his dirty car in his driveway. Now watch me change it in your mind. The man washed his old car in his driveway. The man washed his new car in his driveway. So those adjectives are what changes the picture in your reader's mind. So today when you're writing, you're going to look at two pictures. You're going to write me sentences, and I want you to underline that subject, circle that predicate, and remember that your predicate starts with your action, which is what we've been working on. All right? So it's time to do your task now, and I'm glad you listened to me.